I recently made a video that might have been challenging for many to receive. I recognize the challenge of dealing with information that is completely against what you once believed. When you come across things like that, you have to engage in a mental battle deciding what it is that you want to believe and what it is that you're going to accept. I want you to know that I do recognize the challenge that many of you may be dealing with. In regards to me and this ministry, I want you to be clear that I am not asking nor telling anyone to just follow me blindly. I try to go to great lengths to be as transparent and clear as possible. I illustrate things that many others might not do because I think visually understanding something in this day and age is important. I try to give in-depth history so that it can help you do your own research. Don't ever just take my word for it, but do your own homework. Our walk with Yah is based on a personal relationship, and it is important that we come to Him sincerely in truth, and that is why I make these videos. The truth has been hidden over centuries. Like it or not, you have to come to terms with understanding that our faith has been hijacked and falsehoods have become normalized, making them what's normal and making the truth dangerous and something that people avoid. I recognize that for many of you that watched my video about the rapture, you're challenged and you're trying to figure out what you want to believe. This subject is a very important one that needed to be covered, being that we are so close to the times of tribulation. If you're going to be ready for Yah's kingdom, you must be aligned to His word. You must understand His will. You must truly be about His kingdom. In that last video about the rapture, I dealt with the history surrounding the pre-tribulation doctrine. It was important to understand the foundation from which that doctrine came to be. But for many of you, that history means nothing if you don't understand the truth biblically. Because maybe in your cognitive dissonance, you want to try to rationalize the information given by believing that maybe Darby was truly correct and maybe the whole doctrine of dispensationalism is true. So what we need to do in order to end the discussion and wrap this topic up about the rapture, we need to discuss what really happens in the end based upon the scriptures and not based upon doctrines of men. We also need to discuss the dangers of believing in this pre-tribulation rapture doctrine, because this just isn't some inconsequential piece of doctrine that doesn't have consequences if you follow it and believe it. So we need to discuss it and make sure it is truly understood. The pre-tribulation rapture doctrine is dangerous. We're going to make sure you understand why. Let's begin. Okay, so in the last video, we discussed the history of how the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine came to be. But before I go into biblical truth about what actually happens in the rapture, we need to discuss something about the danger of this doctrine. Please make sure it is known and understood that those who are following the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine, there is a high probability that you are not ready for the times ahead. As you have followed this doctrine, you probably have not been building yourself up properly to deal with reality. And if you do not get this in check, you are going to be conquered. The pre-tribulation rapture doctrine builds up a lazy faith that has made too many believers ill-equipped for the spiritual battle. The events and agendas that are being waged against us, you are not being properly prepared to fight against. For those that follow that doctrine, there seems to be a normal thought that so many of you have. I hear it often when you talk about the mark of the beast and you talk about the Antichrist. People often say the same thing. They say, none of that matters to me because I won't be here for it. And that thought is exactly what will fail you when the times come. So many of you have not dealt with the truth that you will be here for the tribulation.